Hey YouTube, it's John and Dave from Clarksville Guns and Archery. Today we got another special treat for you. Today we're going to go over the differences and the comparisons between the Colt Anaconda and the Colt Python. So without further ado, I'm going to let Dave start off with the Colt Python and then we'll get into the Colt Anaconda. Dave?
So just a quick background on the Colt Python and a little bit of the spec series itself. The Python originally came out in 1955. And it was intended to be a long-range target pistol, if that makes sense to you, which is essentially why on all these you see a bit rib on top. What happened is they played around a little bit with loadings. Elmer Keith got involved. 357 became a thing, and they figured, why we just make this thing at 357 since we want to really stretch this round out as far as we can. Thus, Colt Python was born. There's a lot of nuances on what came first, the 4-inch or 6-inch, but what is known is that the original model was not stainless, it was a wood model. And up until about 2003, 2004 is when they ceased production of the Python series as well. And of course, they picked back up in 2010.
Why, tell them why that gun really picked back up in 2010.
So social media itself is a thing. There's two reasons. First, the lesser known reason is back in some of us that were born in the 80s and early 90s that grew up in video game land, as it were. If any video game that included a Magnum revolver was usually a Colt Python. So a lot of us growing up saw that. But probably the most important reason why it came back is there's a little show called The Walking Dead that came around. And of course, those of us that read comics growing up already knew this was a thing. But for those of you that didn't read comics, the only ever exposure was through a TV show. Rick Grimes carries one of these. And there's so many different pictures of Andrew Lincoln hold this thing up and just like seeing the gun up close. A lot of people got to talking. Man, I really wish I could get this gun again. Hey, Colt, it would be cool if you guys would start producing this gun again. Well, Colt finalist. So
yeah, so probably the older models like more than doubled in price.
Oh yeah.
During that time period. Colts brought them back. You're not having to pay $2,500, $2,600, $2,700 to get a Python now. You can get one of the new ones for less money than that. Of course, one of the old ones is still cool too, but there's some things Dave's going to talk about the new ones. I think you're really going to like that.
So just to kick it off, let's start with the 6-inch one. This is probably the most popular. Open this up, clear it out, show you guys it's unloaded. Let's kick this off. Really, again, the only difference is that you have a 6-inch model and a 4-inch model. Originally, there was an 8-inch model. I don't know that Colt is going to ever reproduce that or not. If they do, I think it'd be cool, but for right now, you have a 6-inch and 4-inch. Essentially the same gun though. So start off, you have a little bit of vet rib up top. And that, again, it comes back to the days of it being a target gun. And that's really what this gun is made for. It's made to be a target pistol. There are people that can carry these for self-defense, you can so choose. I'm not going to say that it's right, wrong, or indifferent. What I am saying is the original intent was to be a target pistol. And as we go up top on the vent rib, all the way back here, you've got the sights right there. Originally, they had adjustable sights. You still can on this as well. That kind of does harken back to that day. Going down, the one thing that Colts are known for is they're very smooth on the triggers. And I'm going to show off that here really quick. Let's just close this up. And we'll start with double action first. So let's all do this together. Nice and slow. I'm not really applying a lot of pressure. This is very nice, and then a break. And then single action. I'm going to barely breathe on this thing. That goes off.
So the double action trigger in the new Colts is like really impressive compared to the old Colt Python. It's really smooth.
It really is. But it's something I've never shot an old Python, but I've handled one. The triggers are leaps and bounds better. One that's not been worked on, a basic production model. You can probably get someone that shot one of these back in the 70s that is a Jerry Mitchell clone that probably like super gun up. But from a production standpoint, they weren't as good as they are now. The other thing I call it a fix is you notice you don't have the hammer, the firing pin on the hammer anymore. That's something, of course, all their revolvers do. And just like everyone else, they have gone to that safe deliver transfer. There's nothing wrong with that. Actually, in a way, it's a good thing because you can dry fire these things now without having to worry about killing the firing pin, which
I'm glad you're pointing that out because, again, those commenters, I can't believe you dry fired that
my
gun.
gosh.
I knew it was coming and I was going to address that here in a minute, but
yeah,
that was a good segue in.
There's so much more wear and tear on your gun firing it than there is dry firing it, but conversation for another time. But that is there in case you did want to do that. And I can't really explain just how awesome this trigger is unless you get a chance to pull one. There is a very famous quote. I'm going to butcher who said it, so I'm not going to try to pronounce the guy's name, but it was in quotations. The Colt Python was the Rolls Royce of revolvers. If you're a car guy, you know what a Rolls Royce is, you know how smooth those things are. I don't know that called a Rolls Royce, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely up there. It's a very pleasurable shooting experience, at least that I've come up with. But they do offer the 4 and 6 inch barrels, and that is the essential breakdown of this firearm. For those of you that have never messed with a Colt before, if you've only ever messed with Smith or with Kimbers or with Rugers, one last thing to show. With Colts, you don't push forward, you don't push in, you actually pull back, and it opens it up. And your notches here go clockwise as opposed to counterclockwise. So if you're used to shooting other revolvers and you ever get your hands on a Colt, something to consider and understand. So when you go to load 1 or 2 rounds, you're not falling in an empty chamber, things of that nature. So if that's pretty much the basic rundown, Johnny, anything else you want to add about the Python itself?
No, I think you covered it pretty well there, David. Very good job. Guys, I know you see us looking away from the camera and doing things, but we are open for business, so I do want to acknowledge our customers that are in here, and that's why I glance to see what's going on. So let's get on to the Anaconda. Okay. So the Python, or the Anaconda rather, is chambered in 44 Magnums. They started making these guns, I think, in 1990, and it was to compete with the Red Hawks, the Ruger Red Hawks, or the Black Hawks, the Smith & Wesson Model 29, those kind of things. Unlike the Python, this gun was never blued. It's always been a stainless steel gun. It is drilled and tapped if you want to put the scope on top of it. Colt, I don't know why you didn't put a scope mount in the box with it. So guys, you're going to have to buy you a scope mount if you want to put a scope on. 44 Magnum, not much to say there, make my day. So what around, what an awesome gun. And this was built on the frame. Okay, what frame was that? The I-frame, I believe, on that one?
Frame, yeah.
The Anaconda is on the M frame. It's like a great feeling. It feels good in single action and double action. Really fantastic. It's also got the vent rib on top of it, as David's already talked about, so not much to talk about there. You do get your adjustable sights, just like on the Python. This gun is available in a 6-inch and an 8-inch. Originally, you could get it in 4, 6, or 8. Right now, the Anaconda is only being produced in 6-inch or 8-inch. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Hey, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. We are trying to grow our YouTube channel, so your comments, your likes, your subscriptions to our channel definitely help us. We certainly appreciate you watching our video. If there's anything we can do to help you now or in the future, feel free to contact us. Thank you guys. Have a great day.